Good morning. I'm setting up the TikTok live as well. One moment, please. So, first, ground yourself, put your hands together, breathe. Before we get started, we first get relaxed. So, let's get started today. And we observe what's going on with the weather and what's going on this planet, then let us all join together in a prayer worldwide for peace, and not only peace for war, but also peace for the weather, to calm down the weather. So my attention in this also goes to Jamaica, where a hurricane category 5 is between now and the evening making landfall, and it seems it goes straight over Jamaica, and I believe the people there need to evacuate or go into shelter. But I think it will be disastrous, so they need our prayers in Jamaica. And of course, also where we hear in the media a ceasefire, but the bombs are still dropping. So we need peace around the world as well. So let us take that in our prayers. And let's hope that the storm will calm down and eventually ceasefire and peace will be there for everybody around the globe. And there are so many things done during these end times when we are aware about the end times that we are in, but there is something misunderstood, and I think that religions need to speak out about the fact that Judgment Day is not one day. Yes? So it's a period of time. So we know if you are into the awareness and into the consciousness and came to a closer knowing, also through science, of course, because science is also what you measure, is what you know, and you conclude something, and for the consciousness now, it is the truth. And we know that the truth is always the truth, never change. But the truth is also evolving with the more that we know, because when we discover something, we learn something new, and then there is an extra part of truth added. So consciousness expanded since the year zero in 2025 years. And it is important to understand that we are in a period of time where two periods, like the water period, is going into the fire period. And in between, there is an exchange. And the end times are marking these exchanges. But these exchanges could go mild. Yes, could go mild. But then humanity, and also on the lowest level, need to understand that we need to evolve. Yes. So because what I understand of Judgment Day is that I was not born on this planet to judge others. So the blame game, yes, but the blame game and pointing fingers to others because you miss yourself. Take first responsibility of yourself and practice self-love with me right now. Let's practice self-love right now and say to yourself, while you watch yourself in the mirror, I'm a kind person, I'm a loving person, and I'm a beautiful person. These three things, three positive things about yourself. Practice self. I could, and this is what I had misunderstood because I didn't know what the concept of love in total was. So in life, you don't experience love only from human beings. And sometimes in life, you feel like there is no love at all. And sometimes on these moments, you experience a lot of love surrounding you with nobody around. That is your love and the divine love and the divine light that shines a light on that love that you actually are. Or I was at that moment, or these moments, these few moments that I have experienced that. But if we start after the morning prayer, and I don't mind what is your religious background, because we stop discriminating. Duality, no more duality. Yes, we can go take the next step into Trinity. And that is actually the basic principle to end all wars on this planet. No more duality, because duality leads to conflict. And then it's like, who has the bombs? I'm going to throw new bombs. So we need to stop these deranged politicians who are utterly sick in the head. So let's pray for healing for them, healing in their hearts, healing in their mind, so they can come back to senses. But if we do not do our morning prayer, morning meditation, morning chanting, morning tuning in, many different ways to address that you are mindful in the morning and aware that there is something more than only yourself existing on this planet. But of course, selfishness will make you fool. Selfishness will make you think, yeah, it's only me on the planet. The whole planet turns around me. Actually, not alone the whole planet, the whole solar system, the whole galaxy. Ah, that's not enough. I'm so greedy. The whole universe is, and all the multiverses, are spinning around me. Then you miss everything in life. And it starts with you miss the joy in life. So we end duality. We are not going to point the fingers to somebody else anymore. No, we are going to take the responsibility for ourselves, ground ourselves, find our balance, and start with practicing self-love first. Because if you do not feel love, and you think nobody loves you, when you already have thought or said nobody loves you, then I need to shake you and say to you, then first start loving yourself, because then it's not nobody loving you, it's somebody loving you. But take that responsibility first for yourself. But if you are conditioned, like you've been brought up with narcissistic people that are putting you down all the time, and every time that you were shining, they put you down, and the second voice in your mind is doom thinking and talking yourself down, you recognize it when you say all these bad things in your mind about yourself. Get rid of that second voice. Clear your mind. And then there are people saying it's all mind control, it's MK Ultra. Well, if you did go through splitting the mind kind of experience, like the mental project, then definitely you cannot heal that in one lifetime or the rest of that lifetime. So trauma, even if it was psychological abuse, these are the things that can make it really difficult with all the doom thinking, and you are going to stand in front of the mirror and say to yourself that you are a loving person, a kind person, and a beautiful person. Because all the negativity and doom thinking is withholding you from being yourself, being your true self. So you need some help from somebody that's going to help you with that. And that's why I am here with them, to help others, to encourage you to love yourself first. Because when you create these positive thoughts about yourself, that is your chance that when you go outside the door to see others the same way as you are. And you start to recognize the loving people. You start to recognize the beautiful people because you said to yourself, I love myself. I'm a loving person. I'm a kind person. I'm a beautiful person. And because you say that to yourself, your mind is in that knowing. And outside the door, you can be loving, kind, and beautiful person. But if we are doom thinking and pointing to others and saying that they are wrong and he is wrong and she is wrong, 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 who on the end of the day is suffering? Yourself. You make it happen that you suffer yourself. So, if I am inside your doom thinking experience, then I already know that I am the bad guy, that I am one of the fingers is pointing at me, simply because you don't love yourself, simply because you do not recognize the love and kindness and beauty in others, because we are focused on the negative thing. Oh, he does that wrong and that wrong and that wrong and that wrong and that and gossip and gossip and gossip and low level of behavior. And you know, if you awake off that, you also will see, hey, that's kind of stupid. So today I pray for myself. Thank you, Creator, that I'm a little bit less stupid. So we need to stop doom thinking and we need to start positive thinking. We need to start the practice that when we go outside the door, to observe the positive points and only focus on the positive points of somebody else. Yeah, and then I think, oh, let's make this easy. I'm only going to focus on my friends because I like them. They have the same positive points as me. No, focus on your enemy. Focus on your boss you hate. Does your boss have positive points? And this is also something that amazed me, when you are working in a company and you are not the boss and you are not the one who is working, doing all the hard work on the floor, but you are somewhere in the middle where those are shouting at you and, well, it's not her that was shouting from above, but personal boss relationship is most likely uh, far away from each other. But if we start to practice to only focus on the positive points in each other, and we are going to encourage them, and we are going to say to each other, hey, that is positive for you, or give another compliment, then we can accumulate all the positivity and create something beautiful inside a company, inside a family, inside society. But if we are continuing with doom thinking simply because we watch the television and they are tricking you into duality, they are tricking you into divide and conquer, no, we are going to take our own responsibility and we are going to focus on the positive points in other people. And this should also be the question for yourself when you grow up. So, yes, I'm older than the children. This is not meant for children. You need to be at least 18 plus. because taking responsibility is something that adults should do. Oh, what do I say now? And yes, the youth, if they are sneakily listening and hearing this, oh my God. And they say, well, parents, you need to take your responsibility, eh? That's what adults do. So we need to take the responsibility self. And one of the responsibilities that we need to take for ourselves after self-love is maturing. And not only maturing physically, but the most important maturing is spiritually, of course. Because that is where we are going to evolve, to become a homo luminous, an enlightened human being. And it's a wonderful path to walk. And as I was paving the path with Hank and still continue to pave the path, I invite you to pave the path with me for others. Yes? So we are tightening up the path that leads to beautiful path. What is a path? And as I explained in the master class, the three realities, we need to slow down from the highway to hell, take the right turn. We will find ourselves on the road to nowhere. It's like that journey, and then we're going to settle down in nature and take the next step on the path to heaven. So we know one thing, we need to slow ourselves down, especially when we are doom thinking, especially when we allow negativity to come to our mind. And this is important during Judgment Day that we choose. This is important during the end times, which we live. We live in now. But soon as you understood it, you find out that during the end times, you can experience the golden era. You need to choose what to focus on. So, of course, the first awareness is that the country maintains peace. You need to prevent war. And therefore, we allow ourselves to practice self-love, to love ourselves first before we love others. And this is needed because when we love ourselves first, we recognize the love in others. Also, we have found love, and we have found that love to give to others. So I respect myself, I love myself. That could be a mantra. If you are doom thinking, do this mantra. I respect myself, I love myself. I respect myself, I love myself. I respect myself, I love myself. You go outside the door, do this practice, and in your mind you repeat, I respect myself, I love myself. And then you are going to see how that is going to be reflected in society. Yes? And then when you think something is not going in that order, then you can say to the other person, you should respect yourself and love yourself. Only one time, because it sounds crazy. If you do the mantra to that other person, like, you should respect yourself and love yourself. You should respect, you got the joke, eh? You got the joke. So, yeah, we have a little bit a moment to laugh and all the serious note because it's a good thing to contribute to joy and laughter. The service to others is what goes into the future. It's the practice of unselfish behavior that goes into the future. And when we respect ourselves and when we love ourselves, then we should observe the politicians. If they are respecting themselves, nope, they are not respecting themselves. Why not? Obviously, we see that they are not respecting others. When they are not respecting others, they are not your friends. And that is what you see nowadays on the media. They have no respect, which starts with having no self-respect. And that is also the reason that the complot theories are talking about their depraved behavior. And that starts with having no self-respect. So respect yourself and love yourself, okay? And understand that we are not born on this planet to judge each other. So let us practice to only focus on the positive points in others. And when you don't feel like it, like you have something, oh, this is a difficult character for me, because automatically you cannot be like friends with every character. The one you like more, and you have one favorite one, and then around that several favorite ones you could say. And then you have like a big middle, and then you have a few that you dislike that you are not really connecting with. And why do these characters of people exist? Actually, to learn. Yes, because these differences are setting the friction and moment to come to great things. Well, war is not a great thing, it's a bad thing. It's criminal, illegal on my planet, and it should end right now. If not, do it with the consequence of choice. Because heaven and earth will shake. And no, there will be no, this is my prophecy, there will be no great awakening, there will be a great extinction, and nature is going to teach humanity once again a lesson. So therefore, the shift in focus, respecting yourself is respecting others. Loving yourself can lead to loving others. Or else it is all fake. It's all fake. It's doom thinking, negative, and blah, blah, blah. Yes? So the teaching that said, when you found out that everything is sprouting from within yourself, you will learn two things, both things, joy and peace. And peace starts with inner peace. And sometimes my inner peace is taken by the images of war, torture, and other evil that's happening on my planet. And the wise were talking to the crowd of people that we need to go in a different direction, or else sure will kick your ass, so to say, wipe you out. So the ones that know that they are saved, like me, are only there to save others, but probably will not succeed, and they will see the next extinction happening, which for this moment now is going to be happening in Jamaica. And every 10 years, it only will get worse. if we are not massively in the other direction. Taking the responsibility has to do with growing up, and you take the responsibility for yourselves first. You recognize your doom thinking, you recognize the second voice in your head, and you are going back. You are going to produce positive thoughts. You are going to meditate, contemplate if you want, or extinct. Yes? Because it is always in human time, and we are in these end times. So when the Homo sapiens got on this planet, there were end times. And the Homo sapien was the new beginning of humanity. And now we are again in a extinction period of time, an era of time in which you can save a lot of other people, but if they are scrolling away, running away, then you will not be able to save them. Because the first thing they will do is reject you, because we are conditioned to reject the other one, especially men amongst men. Yeah, oh no, I need to know more and better than the other man. That's why we put them down. Yes, because we simply cannot look to the positive points of others. And we are arrogant, and we know that the arrogant will not learn. So they keep on doom scrolling. They keep on pointing fingers to others. The only thing at the end of the day is that they will suffer. So yes, you can sit on a stone and wait until somebody is going to ask you a question and find out that will be a long time. So I do not know. Let me see if somebody is able to ask a proper question or not. But yeah, it's, like you cannot expect anything like that on apps. Wait, I have to do something. Let me try that right now. Um, hmm, where would it be? Where would it be? Yeah, as a Diggy B, man, you have things. You think? Oh wait, maybe it's there. I believe it was there. And then I need to find out where you can use them. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think already. Man. Anyway, I do not need to be any. Okay. together. So I do not know how it works, so then we're not doing it. But yeah, when we find that everything is from ourselves, then it should be also understood that pointing the finger to others is pointless. But you better point your finger to the source of light and go into that direction. Or else you will point your fingers in so many directions that you will get lost. As nicely said. So we start the morning with our own way of praying, meditating, tuning in, finding our balance, grounding, harmonizing the energy, and observing the positive points in others. And that is where our trust of each other will grow. And we will not be afraid. But a lot of people are afraid these days, anxious, depressed. And the more pills humanity was swallowing, the more the disease grew. Because there is not really a solution. Because if there was a healing solution in the system, then why are the results the opposite? The backlash of the antidepressants led to suicide. As a society, we can do better. And that starts with taking the responsibility that we ourselves do better. That we ourselves ending duality. That we ourselves make better choices. That we take the responsibility to guide ourselves in the right direction. That we take the responsibility to slow things down because we are realizing when we are on the highway to hell, it's sometimes a lot of fun. And we need to slow down. Take the right turn, we come on the road to nowhere and we need to make choices. But at least on the road to nowhere, it's a journey where you can philosophize, where you can do all the mindful things, and then slow you down even more so you can take your next step on the path to heaven. So slowing down means stop hyping. Slowing down means stop feeding your greed and don't answer to what you want, but answer to what you need. This slowing down, if we as humanity do that, and we start to ask for mobile phones that last for 25 years, instead of hyping, oh, there is a new model every year, overproducing, wasting resources, and polluting the whole planet. polluting the soil, polluting the air, polluting the seas, the water, everything. Nowadays, a human body contains much more plastic than before plastic was invented. And the more plastic a human being gets, the more fake they are. So it's not plastic fantastic. But I want bigger ones. I want bigger ones. I want to change this with myself. I want to change that with myself. I recognize immediately the insecurity of these people. I want to continuously change their looks, driven by the opinions of others, having no self esteem, no self respect, no self love. So, my words can save you thousands, ten thousands of dollars. Just respect yourself, focus on yourself, take the responsibility to focus on yourself, to respect yourself, to love yourself, to like yourself. And you know, I have so less likability that I even didn't like myself. Well, that changed by practice over and over and over and over again. Practicing, Frankie, you are a kind person, a loving person, a beautiful person. And you know, sometimes you need to make yourself laugh in the mirror. And then it could go like this. Frankie, you're a loving person. You're a kind person. You're a beautiful person. Oh, you are a Messiah. Oh, you are God. You know, and then you need to laugh really, really. You know, you can't take it and stretch it a little bit too far. Yes. Sometimes you need to observe reality. That is also good. But we can start to respect ourselves, to love ourselves, focus on the positive points in others, to recognize all the good in a human being. And the way they say, yeah, the way you observe the world is the way you experience it. Let that sink in for a moment. So, also, it comes in handy to become aware that other people are simply observing the world differently like you, because you started to respect yourself, you start to love yourself and focus on the positive points in others, but other people still did not receive the message and they are still doom thinking, observing the bad points in others, and then you are there as a shiny person, the passenger in their life, like dancing, singing, praying, and you are walking with a smile, but then even your smile is bad. Oh, look at him smiling like everything is okay. But I still manage to give my smile to others. And then I simply look, and then I start to smile, and then I keep looking to the people. And most of the time, I get a smile back. But some people are really sour. Oh my God. I think they eat too much sauerkraut. So when we understand how life truly is, then we know that the practice of unselfish behavior is going into the future, and selfish behavior will perish. It's going to go extinct. Nature is going to end that. So you need to make a choice. Are you still stay not taking responsibility, only selfish, the whole planet is turning around you? There will be no great awakening, but there will be a great extinction. And that's my prophecy. And a great extinction is these end times that we are living in. Yes. And let it be clear, that's why I repeat it, only the practice of unselfish behavior is going into the future. So if you are not doing that, extinction. Because since ancient times, since the day that humanity was placed first on the surface of the planet, it was you evolve or you extinct. End of story. I cannot make it more clear than this. You either evolve or you extinct. And you should answer the question then, why did the are extinct? You either evolve and you are suitable for the future, or you extinct. And now, in these end times, you evolve into the practice of unselfish behavior. So I do not really need to worry about the selfish ones, the greedy ones that want everything, that want a new world order. No. And that is why my life is so beautiful. I do not need to worry about that. I mean, I am saved. I wish I could save them, but some are so deep in the rabbit hole that I cannot save them. I cannot reach them. Most likely, they are blocking me, downplaying me, shadow banning me, simply because they cannot stand the light. They cannot understand my love for them, the love that's coming out of my heart, and I do the prayer. Oh, dear Lord, I want to love all of humanity, send love to all of humanity, and spread light to all of humanity. And when you say all of humanity, it's so magical because humanity is not a plural word. Humanity is one. I already understood on young age that all the bad things you do, you belong to all of humanity. And all the good things you do good for all of humanity. And that is where I try to change my life into becoming better and becoming a good boy. And of course, people that know me for an extended period of time, they can be really critical. Well, I know something in your past that was not really good at. And why do you have this scar on your head? And that scar, and that scar? Well, I learned it the hard way, so to say. But when I was respecting myself, loving myself, and lightening myself, the experience became more softer. No more scars. Because at one moment in time you say, no more scars needed, man. Because when I wake up in the morning, these bones are cracking and it's cracking over here. So there must be also a peaceful solution for the next thing, yes? So as much as the focus on positivity has changed my life, I hope it's going to have a change in your life. That you say, well, my next step, my next thought is outside my robotic behavior of Some people say, my life is a bore, or my relationship becomes a bore or a slur or something like that. You understand? And I'm a person that does not really understand that. And that is maybe because sometimes I'm eccentric, sometimes we come up with ideas, and we can discern good ideas and less good ideas. And sometimes a less good ideas is a lot of fun. Sometimes making a funny face is not expressing wisdom, but the wisdom with the funny face is it contributes to joy and laughter. And one time I experienced recently somebody, oh, I do not know if the English saying is the same. Oh, yeah, I made somebody's blood boil recently. And I'm not doing that. Blood boil, and it comes with the food. Sometimes the food comes a little bit weird out of the mouth. Sometimes I also can be silent there. Oops. But yeah, I made somebody's blood boil. Yeah, really boil. Like, when you boil the kettle and the kettle starts to sizzle and to whistle, like, "Woot, woot," I'm thinking that type of kettle. And that is, I knew he was the boiling point because he was also waiting. And I think, okay, let's kill this because I have experience with uh, uh, spiritual practice and more other people. And what did I do? So first, I brought the person to boiling a full say, and then, and then I put on a funny face. And then the person looked at me and start to laugh really loud. So the person was angry, the person was crying. I put on a funny face, the person was laughing. So now we can go back there to episode. And the person, I let the person laugh for a while. And sometimes these moments are needed to free their mind from all the bullshit. And the most wonderful thing that I had learned recent days, uh, that they say to me, thank you that you don't give up on me and that you put up with my bullshit. But I already learned to look through the bullshit. And I was thinking, because I was practicing, yeah, I practice on humanity. Okay, let's see. Some Guru Lee John said, it's easy to transform hate into love. I thought, let's practice. Bring them to the boiling point. And then practice. Well, I never know it was that easy, but of course, a lot of laughing. So yeah, that was really, really nice. So we can create a point of peace in which we can invite others to contribute to joy and laughter. And then we can have discussions about serving to the positive points to others. And we can talk about respecting yourself. Because if I respect myself, I respect others. But if I'm talking myself down with that second voice, then it's easy for me to say asshole to somebody else. Yes. If I love myself, I can recognize the love in other people, but I also can take the responsibility. Hey, I love myself. I'm already loved, and I look around me and I see, hey, maybe that person needs some love. And I am also able, by that positive thought, to say, hey, I can give a little bit of love to that person. So loving yourself, recognizing the love in other people, and also giving love to others. Same thing works if love is too expensive with kindness. Be kind to yourself, and that's why you need to heal. Going, taking a step into your own healing, taking responsibility for yourself to heal, yeah, is being kind to yourself. Because the deep wounds, the scars that need to heal from your heart, from your soul, is an inward thing. So inward, we are going to solve the problems inside ourselves. We teach the child inside to grow up, but it remains a child. So the playfulness of the child inside is the joy and laughter that you can let out also as an adult. So when your life becomes a slur, is because you do not let the fountain of life flow from within yourself. But I bet if you follow me and get as crazy with this as me, you will have a lot of laughs in your life. There will never be a dull moment. And I even did slow down, because sometimes people think you're too crazy. And I was having fun. But yeah, these days, in these darkened days, spiritual practice seems to be crazy. But setting your alarm clock to make somebody else rich, walking around like a zombie, popping the big pharma pills in your mouth because you actually cannot stand the pressure of the system, and the free time that you are burned out. Sounds like fun. Sounds like this is the only acceptable life that you can lead. And the only thing that happened is you get exhausted. You've got no time to heal yourself. Your boss is an asshole. Your colleagues are assholes. Everybody are assholes. And I'm doing things. And I'm not respecting myself, so I'm not going to respect others. I'm not loving myself, so I will hate others. So when we understand this mechanism that everything starts from within ourselves, that we need to take responsibility for ourselves in order to see the reality outside of ourselves. And that is why we need to consciously start to understand the end times we are living in. The end times did not mean only doom times. No, It also means golden era times. And we live in the golden era. There never ever on this planet there was so much money as in 2025. Trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of money, and this system is glorified, and there is still poverty. We are printing more and more and more money, but there's still poverty. The money is not printed to end poverty. The extra money is printed for one's own greed. To see the numbers on the bank account go up. Greed, the greed of the few, and all will suffer. And all will only suffer if they are pointing the fingers to others, and that is the divide and conquer. But one day, nature will be too strong. You perish, you see others perish, but one day it will wake up the few and the population will be reduced. But there will be a moment in time where we take the responsibility. But we know it's to evolve or to extinct. And you know now that only the practice of unselfish behavior is going into the future. And then you evolve. If not, you extinct. So my prophecy, once again, there will be a great extinction, but no great awakening. I mean, who am I reaching out to? Nobody. But that is doom thinking once again. So I do not know how big the leap is or the level difference for getting understanding. But I think that there is a problem with taking your own responsibility. So let's take the responsibility and focus on the positive things in others. Let's take the responsibility to make things right. And if you recognize the wrong in yourself, there's nothing wrong to be apologetic. But that does not mean that there is a need for a separate. In this, you need to be sincere. You need to have a straightened style. And with that said, I'm going to end the slide. And I wish you well. I'm going to pray for the storm that's coming from Jamaica. And let us all pray that the storm might find the other direction. Let's push the storm away from Jamaica and calm it down, and that everybody is in a shelter, evacuated, because they are really troubled. And I hope that military help services, that everybody is standby already. And when the storm passes, everybody is going to help, okay? Thank you very much. I love you, but you did not love yourself.